Now, I'm just going to discuss about astronomy. See, in astronomy in ancient India was a highly developed field with a significant contribution to our understanding of the universe. Some notable achievements includes Aryabhat heliocentric model, which is Aryabhatta, and he did a 476 to 550 CE, and he proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system where the sun is at the center and the Earth and other planets orbit around it. Accurate predictions. See, in this, Indian astronomers made accurate predictions about celestial events such as eclipse, planetary positions, lunar and solar years. Concept of gravity. In this, Indian astronomers like Aryabhatta Bhaskar describes gravity as a force and that attracts objects towards each other. Astronomical tables. In this, Indian astronomers developed accurate astronomical tables like the Aryabhatta and the Brahmaputra Siddhant, which were used for centuries. And discoveries of planets. Indian astronomers also developed astronomical staples like the Aryabhatta and Brahmaputra Siddhant, which were used for centuries. Discovery of planets. Indian astronomers discovered and described the planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Understanding of comets. Indian astrologers recognized comet as the celestial body and developed methods to predict their appearance. Development of astronomical instruments. Indian astronomers developed instruments like the yantra and yastri yantra for the astronomical observations. So, what are the concept of the universe? Indian astronomers develop a concept of the universe as a vast and infinite with multiple universe dimensions. So, some notable Asian astronomers, which includes Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta is introduced himself in 476 to 550 CE. Brahmaputra in 598 to 670 CE. Bhaskar second is 1114 to 1185 CE. Vahamishra is 505 to 587 CE. Nilakanta Soumyaji, which he introduced herself 1445 to 1545 CE, and their works such as the Aryabhatta, Brahmaputra Siddhant, and the which Ghanta Ganit is the demonstrate the advance the state of the astronomy and in ancient India. So, what are the astrobals and sundals? See, in astronomical instrument in ancient India, which includes astrobals, which is the astrobel was the adopted from the Islamic astronomy during the second millennium AD. And it was extensively described in texts such as Yantra Raja or the King of the Instrument. So it is written by the Mahindra Suri in 1370 CE. Sundial is the cylindrical sundial was another the astronomical instrument used in ancient India, and it is discussed in the detail in the cylindrical sundial in India by Y. Oshdi. Ganoman is a vertical rod, and the pillar used a cast of shadow and indicate time was also used in ancient India. Vahamishra and the Pankanditrika in 505 CE describes how to determine the Mediterranean directions from any three positions of a shadow using a gynoman. Water clock. See, water clocks were used in the ancient India to keep track of time. The production of the and use of the traditional astronomical instrument like the water clock, and they continued until the end of 19th century. How the development of the calendars. See, the development of the calendars in India, it's reflect the country rich cultural heritage and astronomical knowledge. So here are some key points about development of calendar in India. It's like ancient roots. See, the history of the calendar in India dates back of the Vedic period with reference to timekeeping and astronomical observations found in the Vedas and other ancient texts. Lunisolar calendar. See, in Hindu calendar is a lunisolar calendar, which is meaning it is a based on the cycle of the both the moon and the sun. It has various regional variations, but most versions have 12 lunar months and 365 solar days. Astronomical influences. Indian astronomers made a significant contribution to the development of calendars, including the zero and the concept of zero, the decimal system, and accurate calculation of the planetary positions. So what do you mean by regional variations? So here, there are many regional variations of the Hindu calendar, each it's with unique feature and traditions. So the Indian national calendar, also known as the Sakra calendar, and the official standardized calendar of India. Cultural significance. Calendars play a vital role in India culture, particularly in determining the dates of festival, auspicious events, and religious ceremonies. Astronomical timekeeping. The Hindu calendars track various astronomical phenomena, including lunar days, lunar months, solar months, and the movement of the sun and the moon around the stellar constellations. So, what is the meaning of timekeeping unit? See, the Hindu calendar uses various timekeeping units, including the nakshatra, means lunar mentions, yoga, combined longitude of the sun and the moon, and karangna, which is a half of lunar day. So, what are the impact of modern sciences? So, here are some ancient Indian discoveries and knowledge systems have impacted modern sciences in mathematics. So I'm just talking about mathematics. So Indian mathematicians were responsible for developing the decimal system and the concept of zero and negative numbers, algebra, arithmetic, and trigonometry. These discoveries have been crucial for the development of calculus, which is used to measure rates of change, and it's vital for many scientific discoveries in physics. In astronomy, in ancient India, it's developed rule for the computing square roots and solving quadratic equations, both of which are still used today in many areas of science, including astronomy. So, what are the steel productions? India was a leader in steel productions with the techniques and metals that were far ahead of their times. So, counting and the basis numerals, which are the modern number system, including the use of Arabic numerals, which is 0 to 9, and the concept of place value came from India. Traditional knowledge system is the ancient Indian systems of science and technology have contributed to the fundamental of modern sciences and technology, even if they have been ignored. So, what is the development of astronomy? See, the development of the astronomy in ancient India was a significant milestone and in history of science. Here are some key contributions. Aryabhatta heliocentric model. Aryabhatta in 476 to 550 CE proposed the heliocentric model of the solar systems, where the sun is at the center and the earth and other planets orbit around it. Accurate predictions. Indian astronomers made accurate predictions about crystals events such as eclipse, planetary positions, and lunar and solar years. And what are the concept of the gravity? Indian astronomers like Aryabhat, Bhaskar describe gravity as a force that attract objects towards each other. Astronomical tables. Indian astronomers developed accurate astronomical tables like Aryabhatta, Brahmaputra, Siddhanta, which were used for centuries. So, what are the discoveries of planets? And the Indian astrologers discovered that describe the planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturns. And their understanding of the comet is the Indian astronomers recognize comets as the celestial bodies and develop methods to predict their appearance. Development of the astronomical instruments. Indian astronomers developed instruments like the yantra and Yasti yantra for the astronomical observations, and their concept of the universe with having the Indian astronomers there's a development of a concept of the universe as a vast and infinite with a multiple universe and dimensions. So these contributions demonstrate the advanced state of astronomy in ancient India, which had a significant impact on the development of astronomy in the Islamic world and Europe. So what are the heliocentric models? See, the heliocentric models proposed by the Aryabhat in 476 CE is a significant milestone in the history of astronomy. So they are the key aspects of these models, which includes the sun at the center. See, the sun is positioned at the center of the solar system and rather than the earth. Planets orbit the sun. See, the planets, including the Earth, orbit around the sun in elliptical methods and paths. Earth rotates and revolution. See, Aryabhat correctly explained the Earth is rotations on its axis and revolutions around the sun. Accurate predictions. See, the heliocentric models enable the accurate predictions of planetary positions, eclipse, and the lunar and solar years. Challenges of geocentrism. See, the heliocentric models contradicted the prevalence, the geocentric view, which placed Earth at the center of the universe. The influence on the later astrologers, the Aryabhat was influenced later astronomers like Scorpions, Scalpers, and Galileo. So, who further developed the heliocentric model? Astronomical calculations. So the heliocentric models led to more accurate and astronomical calculations with improving our understanding of the solar systems, and Aryabhat heliocentric model was a groundbreaking achievement and demonstrating ancient India's significant contribution to the astronomy and challenging the dominant geocentric view of the time. So what do you mean by lunar calendar? See, in the lunar calendar in the ancient India was based on the cycles of the moon and it was used to keep track of the time and predict astronomical event. So here I'm just going to discuss some key features about lunar calendar. First is the lunar month. See, the lunar calendar had 12 months, each beginning of the new moon day. Days, the lunar day of, or we used to say tithi, was the time is taken for the moon to move 12-degree relative to the sun. Fortnight is a lunar fortnight, or paksha we use, and we used to say paksh was the period between the new moon and the full moon, so of full moon or and new moon. Eo, the lunar year or Samvatsara, was the time it's taking for the moon to complete one orbit around the earth. It's approximately 354.37 days. Leap year, to account for the extra days in the solar year, an extra month, Adhika Masa, was added to the lunar calendar every few years. Astronomical significance, the lunar calendar was used to predict eclipse, planetary positions, and other celestial events. Religious variations, different religions in India has their own variation of the lunar calendar with slight difference in the names of the months and days. The lunar calendar was an important tool for ancient Indian astronomers, was used in the conjunctions with the solar calendar to plan agricultural, religious, and the social events. So now I'm just going to discuss about the treaties based on chemistry and mathematics. See, in this, we are going to learn about some Asian Indian treaties, which is based on the chemistry and mathematics. So first time talk about the mathematics. See, in mathematics, we all know about Aryabhatta, and Aryabhatta is introduced himself in 476 CE. A comprehensive mathematical treatise covering topics like arithmetic, algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and astronomy. So the Brahmaputra Siddhanta by Brahmaputra in 628 CE, a seminal work on mathematics and astronomy and introducing concept like zero, the decimal system, and the solution to the linear quadratic equations. They also introduced the Ganit Sara Sangra by Mahavira, which is 850 CE, and a treatise on mathematics, including topic like arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and combinators. So if I'm talking about the chemistry, in chemistry, Ratna Samuchaya by Nagar Arjuna, Sirika in 300 CE, a treatise on chemistry, alchemy, which describes the extractions of metals and preparations of various substances. Rasa Hridaya by Govinda in Sirkia is 1200 CE, a comprehensive work on chemistry covering topics like molecularly, alchemy, and the properties of various substances. So these treatises demonstrate the ancient and the significant contribution of ancient Indian scholars to develop of chemistry and mathematics and showcasing their advanced knowledge and innovations ideas in the field. So Chakra Samhita, see, Chakra Samhita is a foundational text of Ayurveda. The traditional systems of Indian medicines, the text is based on the Aganivisha Samhita and older medicinal uh, compendiums. So here are some key facts about that. The text, it was revised by the Chakra between 100 BCE to 200 CE and renamed Chakra Samhita. The text consists of 8 books and 120 chapters. It describes ancient theories on the human body, etiology, systemology, and the therapeutics for the wide range of diseases. The texts also include sections on the importance of diet, hygiene, prevention, medical educations, and the teamwork of the physicians, nurse, and patient necessary for the recovery to health. Sulbha Sutras. The Sulbha Sutras are the collection of Indian mathematical texts written in late Vedic Sanskrit that date back to the first millennium BCE. And there are four major Sulbha Sutras which are attributed to the Budhyana, Manva, Apastama, Katyana, and the texts contains geometry related to the fire, altar constructions, which includes Pythagoras theorems and Pythagoras triplets, geometrical area, perceivings, transformations, geometric shapes, and such as a square, rectangle, isolates, trapeziums, isolates, triangles, rhombus, and the circles. They also use square roots and pi, which is approximations. So what are the impact on the modern sciences? See, the impact of Indian knowledge on modern sciences includes the concept of zero. Ancient Indians transformed the concept of zero from a placeholder to a number that is still widely used today in the modern Indian or Hindu Arabic numeral system. Decimal system, the decimal place value system, first seen in India over 3,000 years ago, is still is used in globally. Trigonometry, algebra, arithmetic, negative numbers. So Indian mathematics made a significant contribution to these area and are still relevant in modern times. Prosecutor to calculus in his Bhaskar and Indian medicines discovered ideas on calculus over 500 years before, and Gottfried Williams Leibniz, our Europeans developed the concept. Quantum mechanisms in ancient Hindu philosophical ideas or non-dual reality and quantums and enlargement share the unexpected similarities. Cosmology and ancient Hindu notions of the cosmos as an endless cycles of creations, maintenance, and destructions shares parallel with modern cosmological theories. So, what are the treatises of on chemistry? If I'm talking about treatise on chemistry, it is on analytical chemistry by the Isaac Marutris Kolrothov. So this treatise is considered one of the most significant references work in the field of analytic chemistry. Elementary treatise on the chemistry by Alontronis Lavoisier. So this treatise is the seminal work that describes precise methods for chemists to employ when investigating and organizing and explaining their subjects. So, treatise on analytical chemistry by Gotthoff and the Evelings. So, this treatise is comprehensive work on analytical chemistry and covering various aspects of the field. So, what are the principles of Ayurveda? See, here are some main principle of Ayurveda, which is balance. See, Ayurveda aims to balance the life forces or the doshas in the body. So there are three doshas are the Vata, which is a space and air, Pitta, which is fire and water, and Kapha, which is earth and water. Energy, if I'm talking about energy, there are the three doshas which is correspondence to different energies in the body, which is Vata is the energy of movement, Pitta is the energy of digestions, and Kapha is the energy of a structure. So body, mind, and consciousness, Ayurveda see the body, mind, and consciousness as interconnected and aims to bring balance to all of three. Prevention in Ayurveda, places great emphasis on preventing health problems rather than treating them after they arise. Unique constitutions, Ayurveda teaches that each individual has a unique constitutions that remain the same throughout their life. So this constitutions is made up of a combination of three doshas. Natural healing is the Ayurveda is a natural healing system that uses diet, herbs, and lifestyle changes to bring balance to the body rather than the drugs and surgery. So, what do you mean by sophisticated pharmametricurals? So, in this, Ayurveda has a rich traditions of developing sophisticated para pharma criticals from natural sources, which including rasayana. Rasayanas are the herbal and the mineral preparations used to promote health and longevity. Brahmas is the ash-like preparations made from the metals and minerals, which is used to treat various alignments. Arihats, which is the fermented herbal preparations, which is used to treat digestive issues and other conditions. Aswas is the herbal preparations, which is made with alcohol used to treat various alignments. Guglu is the plant-based preparations which is used to treat skin conditions and inflammations. Shilajit is a natural substance used to enhance variety and overall health. Harkatri is the herbal preparations used to treat various alignments, including digestive issues. Amlaki, Amlalki is the herbal preparations used to enhance immunity and overall health. So these pharmaceuticals are the developed using traditional Ayurvedic principles and the techniques and are often tailored to individuals' patients' need. While Ayurveda has a rich history of developing sophisticated pharmaceuticals, and it is important to note that the efficiency and safety of these preparations may vary and some may interact with modern medications or have side effects. So, what is the meaning of impact on modern medicine? See, here I'm going to discuss some ways in ancient Indian knowledge impact modern medicines, like Ayurveda. See, in this, the system of healing using diet, herbs, and lifestyle changes to treat various alignments and still is widely practiced today. Organized knowledge, Indian disciplinary formulations includes fields like philosophy, architecture, grammar, and mathematics, astronomy, matrix, astronomy, and sociology, geography, logics, military science, weaponry, agriculture, mining, trade, commerce, particularly minings, shipbuildings, medicines, poetist, and biology and military sciences. So they are very type of so Astra Shastra is the treatise or governed and the state craft written by the Kautilya, which contains principle of warfare and the military strategies that are still studied and applied today. Dhanurveda is the ancient text on military strategies and tactics is still studied in the Indian Army and contains information on organizations and fictions and having the function of the army with description of the fort and the firearms. Manusmriti is the text contains information on the statecraft, organization and its functions of the army and descriptions of fort and firearms. Bhagavad Gita. So this text contains teachings, welfares, leaderships, and strategic thinkings that are still studied and applied today. So what are the treatises on mathematics? See, in this, we are going to learn some about some ancient India treatise on the mathematics, which is Leelavati, which is written by the Bhaskar II. In 12th century, this treatise is on arithmetic and geometry. Ganit is the treatise on algebra was written by Bhaskar II. Goladhyay is the another treatise by the Bhaskar II. This is the one spherical astronomy. Ganita, which is Bhaskar II, also wrote this treatise on the planetary mathematics. So Karan Kautilya is This treatise was also written by Bhaskar II and mathematical treatise in the 9 sections. So this treatise was written by the King John Shaw in 1247. Sulba Sutras is some detail about the Sulba Sutras we are going to discuss here. So the Sulba Sutras are the collection of texts that contains information about geometry and other related fire altar constructions. So they are part of sutras and considered to be the only source of information about Indian mathematics from the Vedic period. So there are four major Sulba Sutras that are attributed to the Buddhanya, Manva, and Avstapha and Kartyana. So the oldest of these in the sutras attributed to the Buddhana, which was the compiled around 800 to 500 BCE. The Sulba Sutras contain statements of the Pythagoras theorem and also listed of Pythagoras triplets. The Budhanya Sulba Sutras give the construction of the different geometric shapes such as squares and rectangles. It also gives geometric area preserving transformations from one geometrical shapes to another and including transformations square into the rectangle on isosceles trapeziums and isosceles triangles are rhombusums and a circles and transforming a circle into a square. Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem, which also known as Pythagoras theorem, is a fundamental concept in the geometry that states in a right angle triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse, the side opposite the right angle is equal to the sum of the squares of the length of the other two sides. So mathematically, this can be expressed as where A and B are the length of the two sides that form the right angle, and C is the length of the hypotenuse, the right opposite to the right angle. So this theorem can be used to find the length of the hypotenuse or of a right angle triangle given the length of other two sides. The Pythagoras theorem has many practical applications such as finding the length of a missing side in a right angle triangle, calculating distances and heights in geometry and trigonometry, solving problems involving right angle triangle in various fields such as constructing physics and engineering. The theorem is named after the ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician Pythagoras, who is created with its discovery and proof. However, it is important to note that the theorem was also known as use of the civilization and including the Babylonians, Egyptians, and Chinese and Indians. So, what are the geometrical concepts? The Sulba Sutras, ancient India texts contain geometrical concept which includes points and lines defined and used to construct geometrical shapes is triangle, which including the right angle triangle, isosceles triangles, and scalene triangle. Quadrilaterals, which are including rectangle, squares, and rhombusums. Polygons is including pentagon, hexagon, and octagons. Circles with concept like circumferences and diameter and radius. Angles and measurements, including the acute, obtuse, right, and straight angles. Congruence is the similarity, which is the principle for determining identical and similar geometrical shapes. Is transformations, including the translations, rotation, and scaling. So area and parameters calculation for various geometrical shapes is, and having the Pythagoras theorems with the Pythagoras triplets, and there's a relationship between the sides of right angle triangle. And so these geometrical concepts developed over 2,500 years ago and demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of mathematics and its applications.